Hey y'all, Keith Collins, guest host for your man Ryan Hills. So today I grabbed a softball. I want to talk about a two-word phrase that's starting to creep up in every mortgage leadership conversation across the country. It's a word that we haven't used for maybe a year, maybe two, but it's back, and I promise you're going to start hearing a lot more of it as we move forward. And the phrase is margin compression. But what really is margin compression? Look, friends, it impacts all of us. LOs, executives, owners, processors, underwriters, realtors, and in the end, the customer. When preparing for this, I did a little research and I couldn't find one single article about margin compression dated in 2020. It's almost like it vanished. There were lots in 18, lots in 19, articles like mortgage profitability hits an all-time low in Q4, average net loss of $200 per loan. That's crazy. And now all of a sudden, we're starting to see them creep up again in 2021. And this one really caught my eye. As profit margins shrink, mortgage execs look at LO comp. Does that get your attention? It got mine. Profit is a byproduct of margin. Think about buying a beer, for example, in a restaurant or bar. There's a markup, a profit, or margin. The restaurant buys it for $1 and sells it for $5. That's their margin. Now within that margin, things must be paid. Salary, rent, insurance, right? So what's margin compression? I want to break it down a little further. What if for a short period of time, your bar was the hottest commodity in town? You were packed, beyond capacity, you couldn't handle the business. So what did you do? You most likely hired and expanded. More overhead, maybe you had to raise wages just to keep the people around, but maybe because of so much demand, you raised your margins. Maybe you started selling that same pint of beer for $6 instead of $5. And as an owner, you never made more money. Life was good. Now all of a sudden, 3 bars open up the block and start selling that same beer cheaper. $4.50, $4, then $3.50. Then some hooligan, you know what I'm talking about, gets a large influx of cash to burn from an IPO and started selling it at $2, which happens to be your break even. You either compensate elsewhere and try to keep the clients, or follow suit, reduce price, which eats away at profit and soon becomes a race to the bottom. All right, mortgage folks, does this sound oddly familiar? This is what happened in the mortgage industry in 2018 and 2019, and then we took a nice big long break in 2020. But why the pause? Simply, we had more business than we knew what to do with. Lenders increased margin to offset cost, slow production, and we hired like the Yankees, but we got through it. Now we're seeing higher interest rates, less refinances, and a crazy competitive purchase market. Check out a recent Q2 market forecast from Freddie Mac. They're expecting almost $2 trillion less in refinances in 2022 than 2020. Lenders today are looking at this staff and wondering, what do we do? Well, first, let's lower margins so we can offer lower interest rates and maybe get some more loans in the door. Couple that with highly publicized wholesale lending battles by some of the major players, and we're right back in it. Margin compression. Look guys, I'm in the trenches with you. I'm an originator as well. My team closed over $80 million last year alone, and the region I lead closed over $750 million. I get it. And in the last few weeks, rates come up more in borrower conversations than in the last year and a half together. So what do? I got 4 things for you. First, we mind our footing, like literally mind our footing. When someone asks, what's your rate? Are you on your heels leaning back, or are you leaning in and engaging that conversation? See, I don't think clients today are actually asking, what's your rate? When they're asking, what's your rate? I think they might be asking something a little bit different, like, can I trust you? Do you care about me? And maybe when I have all my boxes packed and my kids are getting set up for school, are you actually gonna come through? These are not deals, these are people looking for help with the largest asset and debt that they own. Secondly, we do the hard things. We teach, we educate, and we ask better questions. It's time to sharpen our saw. Let's be honest, it's been easy to acquire new clients in the last year. We may now need a little bit more effort per customer. We kind of have atrophy, and I get it because I'm feeling it. Third, we need more arrows in the quiver. Take time daily to listen to people like Barry Habib and Dan Rawich. Take a look at your online presence. How are your reviews? How are you on Yelp? Do you have a Google business? Are you using tools like Mortgage Coach and MBS Highway to help guide your clients through higher level mortgage planning conversations? Maybe it's time to upgrade your CRM to help you stay in front of your customers. Do you actually do annual mortgage reviews? Be the expert that demands the comp plans that we have today. And finally, when you do get shopped, like truly shopped, Are you digging in deep? Are you looking at the lender's online reviews? Are you checking to see how long they've been in the business? Using the consumer lookup tool, like do they have a 7-digit NMLS number? Did you ask for a loan estimate? Did they even provide one? Or is it a super quick, vague email with little to no information to rely on? And are you the one that's actually sending that super vague email with little to no information to rely on? If you are, see item 3 above. I hope this doesn't seem like I'm preaching to the choir here, but as originators, we need to help hold margin. We need to understand that holding margin is important because profit matters. It's what keeps the lights on. It's what allows us to carry on with our mission, to employ some amazing people, to acquire amazing technologies that make your life easier, and to provide MLOs some pretty nice comp plans. Hey y'all, we're really interested in your thoughts and comments on this topic. Drop a comment below, share the message, and if you can drop a comment on who did it better, this guy or the other guy, I'd appreciate it. Thanks all, have a blessed day, take care.